What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing. Today we're going to take a look at one of the greatest middleweights of all time, our former murderous row fighter, who fought his way up from middleweight, light heavyweight to heavyweight to eventually capture the crown from longtime heavyweight champion Joe Louis. Let's take a look at this fighter. This former murderous row fighter was born July 7th, 1921, Lawrenceville, Georgia. His parents moved him up to Cincinnati, Ohio when he was a young boy. He became a porter, but he was a very athletic young man. His passion was boxing. And after successfully winning multiple amateur championships, he knew exactly what his future would hold. Let's take a look at his record. This 6-foot fighter had 42 amateur bouts and won them all. 1937, he won a Diamond Belt Welterweight Championship, the State AAU Welterweight Championship, 1938, Diamond Belt Welterweight Championship, Golden Gloves Welterweight Championship, won the State AAU Welterweight Championship, 1939, Diamond Belt Middleweight Championship. He won the Golden Gloves Middleweight Championship and won the State AAU Middleweight Championship. Won 2 national amateur middleweight titles. Won every amateur tournament he ever entered. Scored a 2-round knockout over Dan Ely, the amateur national champion of Canada. In 1940, he knocked out all but 2 opponents, John Reeves and Charlie Banks. Actually, Marty Simmons went 10 rounds with him as well. But in 1941, he suffered his first defeat, June 9, with Kent Overland in Cincinnati, Ohio, 10-round loss. Ken Overland was a middleweight champion. He also fought Teddy Uros November 17th, Cincinnati, Ohio. He defeated him in 10 rounds. 1942, January 12th, he KO'd Anton Christofolis in Cincinnati, Ohio. You're looking at a light heavyweight champion that was knocked out in 3 rounds by Desar Charles. March 2nd, Ken Overland, Cincinnati, Ohio, 10-round draw. May 13th, Ken Tenuro, Cincinnati, very good fighter. He lost 10 rounds. May 25th and June 29th, he defeated Charlie Burley in Pittsburgh. 10 rounds. July 27th, Baker Beckworth, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, knocked him out in 9 rounds. August 17th, Jose Pesoro, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 6-round KO. September 15th, Moses Ward, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 6-round KO. October 27th and December 1st, he won a 10-round decision over Joey Maxim, who would become light heavyweight champion. This was in Cleveland in the U.S. Army. 1943, January 7th, Jimmy Bivens. He lost a 10-round decision to his first murderous row opponent. March 21st, Lloyd Marshall in Cleveland, Ohio. He was KO'd in 8 rounds. in the U.S. Army. He boxed the Inter-Allied Tournament in Italy and North Africa and won all bouts. 1946. His best performance, May 20th, Archie Moore, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He defeated Moore in 10 rounds. June 13th, Sheldon Bell, another good fighter, Youngstown, Ohio, KO'd him in 5 rounds. July 29th, Lloyd Marshall, Cincinnati, Ohio, 6-round KO. September 23rd, Oakland Billy Smith, Cincinnati, 10-round victory. November 12th, Jimmy Bivens, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He defeated him in 10 rounds. 1947, February 17th, Oakland Billy Smith, Cincinnati. He knocked him out in 5 rounds. March 10th, Jimmy Bivens, Cleveland, Ohio, 4-round KO. May 5th, Archie Moore, Cincinnati, defeated him in 10 rounds. July 14th, Fritzy Fitzpatrick, Cincinnati, 5th-round KO. July 25th, Elmer Ray, New York City. He lost in 10 rounds. Look at the names he faced month after month. Unbelievable. September 29th, Lloyd Marshall, Cincinnati, Ohio, knocked him out in 2 rounds. October 16th, Al Smith, Akron, knocked him out in 4 rounds. October 27th, Clarence Jones, Hutchinson, knocked him out in 1 round. November 3rd, Teddy Rudolph in Buffalo, New York, 10-round victory. December 2nd, Fritzy Fitzpatrick, Cleveland, Ohio, 4-round knockout. In 1948, January 13th, Archie Moore, Cleveland, Ohio, 8-round KO. February 20th, Sam Baruti, Chicago, 10-round knockout. Now, Sam Baruti, that's a very sad story. My dad used to train in Stillman's gym in New York. He had locker 205, Sam Baruti 209, Sandy Saddler had 203. They all hung out together in the gym. Sam Baruti used to come in the gym and say, "I'm hitting hard today," and he would spar with everybody. He was a fun guy, but he was a street guy. And one day they were in the locker room, and Lou Stillman paged him overhead, and everybody said, "Oh, Lou was calling you." So he went over to find out what was going on, and he came back, and he asked what happened, and he said, "I'm fighting Izzy Charles." And they couldn't believe it. And everybody was happy for him. February 20th, they read in the newspaper that Sam Baruti was knocked out cold. And they found out the very next day that he died from complications of that fight. Very sad moment. September 13th, Jimmy Bivens, Washington, D.C., 10-round victory for Izzy Charles. December 10th, Joe Baskey, New York, 11th round KO. 1949, Johnny Hayes, February 7th, Philadelphia, knockout in 8 rounds. February 28th, Joey Maxim, Cincinnati, Ohio, 15-round win. Charlie Banks, Willard Reed, Herbert Hood, Charlie Banks, Jackie Lyons. They all were exhibition 4-round fights. But June 22nd, Joe Walcott in Chicago, a 15-round victory where he finally won a vacant WNBA World Heavyweight title. Awesome. Now, he wasn't really recognized as the champion because Joe Louis was the lineal champion, and he had retired. So until he faced Joe Louis, he wasn't really considered the actual champion in everybody's eyes. August 10th, Gus Lesnevich, New York. He knocked him out in 7th round. Now, he was also a light heavyweight champion. September 2nd, Joe Manziel, Chicago. 4-round exhibition. Alabama Kid in Columbus, Ohio. Exhibition, 4 rounds. Pat Valentino, San Francisco. Knocked him out in 8 rounds for the NBA title. Rex Lane, these are all October fights. Sonny Andrews, Oakland Billy Smith, Al Smith, and Lloyd Gibson, these are all exhibitions. 4 rounds and 2 rounds. 1950, August 3rd, Joe Manziel, Pittsburgh, 4-round exhibition. August 15th, Freddie Bishop, Buffalo, New York, 14-round knockout, NBA title. And finally, September 27th, Joe Louis, New York. He defeated him in 15 rounds. And now he was truly recognized as the NBA and New York State champion. December 5th, Nick Barone, Cincinnati, Ohio, 11-round knockout title bout. 51, January 12th, Lee Omer, New York, 10-round knockout, a title bout. March 7th, Jersey Joe Walcott, Detroit, 15 round title bout. May 30th, Joey Maxim, Chicago, 15 rounds. July 18th, Jersey Joe Walcott, Pittsburgh. He was knocked out in the 7th round and lost his heavyweight championship. October 10th, Rex Lane KO'd him in 11th. December 12th, Joey Maxim, San Francisco. He won in 12 rounds. December 12th, Joe Cobbert, Portland, 8-round KO. 1952, June 5th, Joe Walcott, Philadelphia, 15-round loss for a title bout. August 8th, Rex Lane lost in 10 rounds. Bernie Reynolds, October 8th, he knocked him out in 2 rounds. October 24th, Cesar Brion, New York, 10-round victory. November 26th, Jimmy Bivens, Chicago, 10-round victory. December 15th, Frank Buford in Boston, 7th round KO. Frank Buford was a very good fighter. 1953, January 14th, Wesley Bankin, another good fighter. St. Louis, Missouri, 9th round knockout. Tommy Harris in Detroit, 9th round knockout. Rex Lane, San Francisco, 10-round victory. Billy Gilliam, Toledo, Ohio, 10-round victory. August 11th, Nino Valdez, Miami Beach, 10-round loss. September 8th, Harold Johnson, Philadelphia, 10-round loss. December 16th, Coley Wallace, San Francisco, he knocked him on 10 rounds. Coley Wallace was Rocky Marciano's. He had a problem with Coley Wallace. Coley Wallace defeated Rocky Marciano in the amateurs. 1954, January 13th, Bob Satterfield, Chicago, knocked him out in 2 rounds. June 17th, Rocky Marciano, New York, he lost 15 rounds. And September 17th, Rocky Marciano, he was KO'd in 8th round, a vicious knockout. 1955, February 18th, Charlie Norkus, New York, he defeated him in 10 rounds. April 27th, Johnny Holman, Miami Beach, he was knocked out in 9 rounds. And June 8th, Johnny Holman, Cincinnati, was defeated. He defeated Johnny Holman in 10 rounds. Now, Charlie Norkus and Danny Nardico, I think, was one of the greatest fights of all time. They both went down like 6 times. It was an unbelievable fight. Ezra Charles, outstanding fighter. Let's take a look at Joe Louis and Ezra Charles, tail of the tape. Age, Joe Louis, 36. Charles, 29. Height, Joe Louis, 6'2". Charles, 6 foot. Weight, Joe Louis, 216 pounds. Charles, 182 pounds. Let's take a look at Charles and Marciano, tail of the tape. Age, Marciano 29, Charles 32. Weight, Marciano 185, Charles 187. Height, Marciano 5 foot 11 inches, Charles 6 foot. Reach, Marciano 67 inches, Charles 74 inches. Salute to Eddie Charles. Let's continue. Let's take a look at Elmer Ray. 86, 15, 1, and 73. 1926 to 1949 years fought. No titles held. Elmer Ray was a black murderous road fighter. Outstanding heavyweight. A Florida heavyweight born March 10th, 1910. 1936. Fast Black, New Orleans. Knocked him out in 3 rounds. 1937. Obie Walker in Miami. Lost in 10 rounds. Obie Walker was an outstanding heavyweight. I'm going to do a bio on him. An outstanding African-American heavyweight. January 26th. September 25th, Jersey Joe Walcott, New York, was knocked out in 3 rounds by Walcott. 1938, John H. Lewis, that's John Henry Lewis. He knocked him out in 2 rounds. John Henry Lewis was light heavyweight champion. July 25th, Jim Howell, New York, knocked out in 6. Leroy Hayes, August 17th, in Atlanta. He defeated him in 10 rounds. October 12th, Obie Walker, Atlanta. This time, Elmer Ray got the victory in 6 rounds. 1941, Larry Kid Lovett. He's a good fighter too. August 10th. A 10-round victory, October 12th. And he fought fighters like Turkey Thompson, Phil Johnson, that was Howard Johnson's father, Gene Felton, Lorenzo Pedro. These are all good fighters. Bob Smith, Michael Alfonso, Al Jordan, Buddy Millard, J.D. Turner, Bob Smith again, Freddie Hudson, Jim Williams. So far, all victories. 1945, all victories and knockouts. Mickey Hayes, Henry Jones, Bob Jacobs, just skimming through. Henry Cooper, Jimmy Gardner, Tiger Grant, Frank Lynch, Grant Shade. 1946, all knockouts. Dan Merritt, Al Patterson, Herbert Hood, Lee Oliver, Colin Chanley, Arch McAlpin, Lee Zavoyd, George Parks, Cliff Mann, Jersey Joe Walcott. Lost the decision, but he was the only man to go the distance with Elmer Ray that year. He faced Walcott again in 47. He lost 10 rounds to Walcott. He defeated Eddie Charles July 25th. Salute to Elmer Ray. Let's take a look at Bob Satterfield. Bob Satterfield was one of my favorite heavyweights at that time in the 40s and 50s. Knockout machine, or he was knocked out. That's it. No distance. Don't have time for it. I'm going or you going. Salute to Bob Satterfield. 50 fights, 25 losses, 5 draws, and 35 by knockout. Fought from 1945 to 1957. No titles held. Salute to Bob Satterfield. Elmer Ray. Let's take a quick look at Jimmy Bivens. Cleveland, Ohio. 5'11". Outstanding fighter. For Charlie Burley, September 3rd in Pittsburgh. Anton Christofoli twice. 1 win, 1 loss. Teddy Uroth, 1941, 10-round victory. Milo Patina lost in 10 rounds. He was a former light heavyweight champion. Billy Sues, former middleweight champion, 1942, defeated him 10 rounds. Gus Lesnovich defeated him. He was a former light heavyweight champion, 10 rounds. Bob Pastor, former heavyweight contender. He lost in 10 rounds. Joey Maxim. These names, 10-round victory. Tammy Mariello defeated him in 10 rounds. It's all in 1 year. Bob Pastor defeated him in 10 rounds. Louis Savoy, 10 rounds. 1943, Ezra Charles defeated him 10 rounds. Anton Christofoli defeated him in 15 rounds. Tammy Mariello, 10 rounds. Watson Jones, 10 rounds. Pat Valentino, 10 rounds. Lloyd Marshall knocked him out in 13 rounds. Amazing. Herbert Marshall knocked him out in 6 rounds. Milo Patina defeated him in 10 rounds. Lee Q. Murray defeated him in 10 rounds, all in 1 year. Lee Q. Murray in 1944, 10 rounds, he defeated him. Ezra Charles, 1946, he lost to him in 10 rounds. Shout out to Jimmy Bivens. Salute. Shout out to Jersey Joe Walcott. Jersey Joe Walcott. Outstanding heavyweight. Been through it all. I remember meeting Jersey Joe when he was the commission, New Jersey. He had that controversial referee fight with Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, and Sonny Liston. Jersey Joe Walcott was an outstanding fighter. Shout out to Jersey Joe Walcott. Rocky Marciano. Salute to Rocky Marciano.